So I think that pretty much establishes quite clearly why it's important to realize the authoritativeness of the four Gospels. Sorry about this. So we've looked at quite a lot of information that kind of, you reflect on what you've just been given, it kind of just absolutely demolishes any criticism that the Gospels are a fabrication. You've been given some very strong information there that will help you to just absolutely show that anybody saying anything and we're just going to look at the historical reliability of the Gospels. And if you want to read an article, if you type in Craig L. Blomberg, the historical reliability of the Gospels, you will be able to read the full article. And he writes, quote, "A dozen or so non-Christian writers or texts confirm a remarkable number of details in the Gospels about Jesus' life, that he was a Jew living in the first third of the first century, born out of wedlock, a self-styled teacher who became very popular, selected certain menaces in disciples, disregarded Jewish dietary laws, innate with a despised and enraged certain Jewish leaders, even though believed to be the Messiah by others, was crucified by Pontius Pilate, but believed to have been raised from the dead by some of his followers, who began a fledgling religion that never died out. Some might argue that this does not seem like a lot of detail, but in a world in which almost all historical and biographical writing focused on kings, emperors, military generals, people in institutional positions of religious power, famous philosophers whose schools had long outlived them, and more generally the well-to-do and influential, it's remarkable that Jesus gets mentioned at all by first through the third century, by first and through to the third century, by non-Christian writers. Before the legalization of Christianity in the 4th century, who would have expected this obscure crucified rabbi to produce a following that would one day become the religion adopted by the greatest percentage of the people on earth? And he writes, archaeology confirms a whole raft of details susceptible to artifactual or epigraphic corroboration with the existence of the Pool of Siloam, Bethesda in Jerusalem, the later 5 porticos, just as John 5:2 describes, Pontius Pilate as prefect of Judea, Roman crucifixion by driving nails through the ankle bones, fishing boats large enough to hold 13 people like Jesus and his 12 disciples, a tomb of Cephas, the probable ossuary bone box of James, brother of Jesus, and so on. And all of these details in the Gospels were once doubted before the archaeological confirmation came forth. So that's on the historical reliability of the 4 Gospels. You can read that article, which will be a little introduction to the subject.